I really hate this game.
Dating sims. You love them, you hate them, you parasocially care about them to the point of becoming absolutely insufferable online. What started with Sega's Girls' Garden has become an absolute staple in gaming culture. But some might ponder, have we evolved too far? For anyone new here, hi, I'm Blake. A lot of y'all think my name is Jake. So do I went on a 3-day journey to find the worst possible dating sim I could. Be it low budget, self-aware, or just plain unsettling, and believe me, there's a few of those. And after playing through the beginnings of over 20 titles, I do believe I am ready to recount my odyssey and grade each game accordingly. Now, before we begin, I do have to set the scene with some ground rules. 1, the gameplay. In order to cover as many games as I could, I decided to give each game 30 minutes to an hour, or I would finish one route to its completion. In my mind, if a game is going to put it professionally, suck ass, I'm gonna know out the gate. It's going to flop within the first 30 minutes, no question. Plus, if I have some masochists watching this video that want to try the game for themselves, they now can do so with less spoilers. 2, the scoring. I have decided to rate each game based on 5 categories. Pacing, did I get bored? Artwork, is it pretty, ugly, or even worse, AI? Self-awareness, does it know its ass? Comedy, did I age bowl, LOL, or even LMAO? And finally, woke. Was humanity's progress stunted in any way from me playing this game? So the goal of this video is to find the lowest score of these combined categories. 3, my streaming co-host. Throughout this video, you will see a teeny talking PNG of Juan Harry from the hit show 31 Minutos. That is my streaming co-host, Luis. You may know him from curating my list for the Hear Me Out videos or helping me with research for the Zelda War Crimes video. He also helped me find obscure games for this video, so if there's one that you haven't heard of, there's a 95% chance that he's the one that found it. And if any of you are mean to him in the comments, I will personally find your address and put it at the beginning of my next video. Tread carefully. Rule 4, follow and watch my streaming channels. I have been trying to stream more frequently, and we've been watching horrible movies and playing absolutely awful games, so if that sounds interesting to you, please do join. And our final ground rule 5. It is not that deep. Unfortunately, in the past few years, it has become necessary to explain this in a video, so I would just like to say it right now. I make videos for fun. If I miss a detail, or don't invest enough in a game, or have a different opinion about a game, that is okay. This is a YouTube video. It is not scripture. This is not a review by someone who plays a lot of dating sims. This is a YouTube video about an odyssey taken upon by somebody who has somehow branded himself in a way where a lot of his viewers play a lot of dating sims. So with all of that out of the way, let's begin the tale of my search for the worst dating sims, starting on day 1. So day 1, I was going in with a glint in my eye and a stride in my step, and boy was I about to have the rug pulled from under me, because I had the privilege of starting with a heavily requested game, Paca Plus. So the cover had me incredibly excited. It's got an alpaca, it's got cute artwork. I thought I was gonna be in for a very funny time. So you start as Kazuma, a regular boy who's about to start another day of school. You run into your girlfriend Yukari and start talking about what your class is gonna do for the school festival. Oh, hi Yukari, how are you? Nope, underage, I'm not gonna say anything about her. And wouldn't you know it, this entire class of minors is elated to be hosting a maid cafe. Okay, what school approved this? What school approved this? Every girl in the class that we talk to is so excited to try on her new maid outfit, and I imagine somewhere out there, Malala's brain activated like a sleeper agent. Actually, I love that. I love being in a maid outfit, and I love doing chores, and I love serving coffee to grown men. Ideally 36. Like, oh my God, what are we doing here? So we go through the entire school day and meet a plethora of new students. Oh, come on, Microsoft PowerPoint. And it's at this point in the stream that I have the devastating realization that this game is about to play the bit so straight. I think the intent of the game was to take a ridiculous concept and play it very seriously, but me calling this an odyssey was not an understatement because, oh my God, is it slow. You have to go so deep into this game to meet the alpaca that it should be called Paca Minus. It took me 45 minutes to get to the alpaca farm school trip, and they just keep talking. Okay, we got it. We feed the alpacas. We feed the alpacas. We feed the I spent $10 on this. Let it be known, we've been yapping until the sun went down. So on the way home from the alpaca farm, you finally fall asleep and wake up next to your girlfriend who has turned into an admittedly alpaca. Now here's the thing. I understand that this is a visual novel, but if your entire bit for this entire game is dating an alpaca, I would hope that in my 3.5 hour long game, I would get to the alpaca earlier than a third of the way through the game. So I had to call it there and keep going, but Luis, out of curiosity, went and watched a playthrough to see if it gets even more ridiculous as it keeps going, and It doesn't. It's so dull. The alpaca bit is the one joke. And arguably worse than all of that, Paca Plus, after doing everything that I just played in that stream, puts its cigarette out on your taint by recounting exactly what happened up until the alpaca transformation in an anime-style intro.
Wait, we could have just skipped all of that. It's telling the story in the song. We could have skipped all of that.
I wasted an hour. I didn't have to play it. I didn't have to play it at all. I could have just watched that intro. This was purely for the sake of sadism. And I do respect that. That's funny. So I think I made it perfectly clear in this recounting, but this is just not my kind of dating sim. It's wordy, it's slow, it's pretty, but pretty can only get you so far when you have one joke. Pacing, garbage, can't stand it. Artwork, really pretty, go off girl boss. They had self-awareness, but not enough to expand upon the bit. Comedy, it was kind of funny. I mean, that one joke did work, I guess. Not woke at all. That Maid Cafe bit made me feel like I need to donate to a feminist charity now. Hello, my divas. I would just like to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of this video, the high yield savings icon, Chime. Besties, in my time on this earth, I have experienced a lot of different salaries, most of them lower, much lower. For about 10 years of my life, I was in full-time pursuit of a career in opera, and I'm gonna be completely real with you, it's no doctor money. So now that I've found a little more financial stability in my life, I hoard every paycheck I receive like a covetous bridge troll. And I would have been doing so much more successfully had I been quicker to use a banking app like Chime. Chime is a beloved banking app that helps people save their money in smarter ways to create more opportunities for growth. Chime's high-yield savings account earns up to 3.5% APY, which is over 8 times the national average savings rate. There are no monthly fees and no minimum balance requirements, so your money can just sit there and grow. Just to put it in perspective, a little math for y'all. $6,000 at 3.5% APY earns you around $210 a year. That's like 4 video games or 159 packs of gum. Economic queen. You can even set goals in the app, so you can track your progress towards a new laptop, a vacation, or even an emergency fund. And if you don't want to think about it too much, you can set a portion of your paycheck to go directly into your savings. Set it and forget it, girl. And right now, Chime is offering a special bonus where you can earn up to $350 when you sign up and set up qualifying direct deposits. So make your money work for you. Check the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen to get started with Chime today. Thank you again so very much to Chime for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. Now, a good example of getting the whole brand from the jump is our next entry, John Cena's Sexy High School Adventure. So I feel like this game could almost be described as a glorified PowerPoint presentation. You play as a new student who goes by the name of
Excuse me?
Who is just about to start his first day in a new school, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep a counter right now of how many times that exact trope happens in this video.
Another one, thank you.
So we go to school and surprise, surprise, everyone is John Cena. And not just John Cena, but a singular image of John Cena. And I'm gonna be very vulnerable with you right now. I am a titty guy, specifically a male titty guy.
As long as we get to see his titties the whole time, I'm gonna be really happy.
One of my biggest celebrity crushes has always been John Cena, specifically for his honker-donker doingy boingies. But the image they picked has him flexing his arms, so his tatas are nerfed. So unfortunately, that was an immediate point deduction in my mind. I'm sorry, I have standards. I was not raised in a barn. So to keep the story simple, you go into school and are immediately introduced to the main John Cena, who then shows you to your class with Mr. Cena. Also, a very important detail to mention is that during the entirety of the game, you are subjected to a clarinet solo of John Cena's wrestling theme. The entire game. And to really drive that point home, I am now going to use that music as the background for the rest of this section. Let's suffer together! So after you finish class, you head on home, but you're met by bad boy Johnny. He demands that you do his homework for him, and if you refuse, he literally kills you, and it turns out you can lose this game.
You don't think you're getting...
Oh my god, we died?
You're dead!
No! I was joking.
And I know I gave myself a single run rule, but honestly, all of this occurred over the course of like 5 minutes. So from the top, people, we have to go back to the island. So this time we met the lovable nerd Jonathan, went to prom with him, ran into Johnny again with his hot date, Jane Cena, had an intimate moment together at prom with Jonathan, which is, you guessed it, wrestling. We got caught by Mr. Cena and then thrown in jail by security guard John Cena, pulled a Shawshank and escaped the prison via the sewer. We then ran into Monster John Cena, where we kill it with the help of
Sir Jonathan Cena of York.
And beloved viewers, I cannot accurately recount just how visually stunning the execution was.
He slashes his sword and chops the monster clean in half.
So John Cena's Sexy High School Adventure, very efficient. I knew the brand from the jump and they stuck to it the entire time. Good for them. I would definitely play the entirety of this game, but I am going to do it with the background music off because, oh my god. So pacing, great. Loved how much of this game I got to experience from the get-go. Artwork, terrible. Would be lower if I didn't think that John Cena was sex on legs, baby. Absolutely self-aware. Fantastic job all around. They knew what the hell they were doing. Comedy, pretty damn good. I was chuckling divas. Woke was okay. It would have been higher, but honestly, Jane Cena is not going to a feminist rally anytime soon. So now we move on to our next one. Luis sent me this trailer and I knew within 12 seconds that I needed to play this game.
Ever wish you could get an email from a real Nigerian prince?
What?
My Nigerian Prince is a parody on the Nigerian Prince email scam from the 80s, which is actually inspired from an 18th century scam called the Spanish Prisoner. That also has nothing to do with this video. I just like to sound smart online sometimes after reading a Wikipedia article for 2 minutes, which in 2026 is admittedly starting to become a talent again. So the game starts with a scene from another dating sim. Hitchcock, eat your heart out. This is cinema. So you keep playing the game until you receive an email from the Nigerian Prince Funmini Owo. We then zoom out to our protagonist, Caitlin, who I do feel must have been drawn in Microsoft Paint. Like with a mouse, not even a sketchpad. Like, Diva's busted, okay? Prince Funmini is in peril and says that $500 would save him, but we also look up how much a flight to Nigeria would be to save him ourselves. And it is double the cost at $1,000. So Caitlin flies to Nigeria, and after some Marvel-level action sequences, we save the prince, and as a thank you, he asks us to be his princess, and we accept. So we head home as an honorary Nigerian princess, which doesn't mean much, but looks good on a resume. So my Nigerian Prince was mostly fine. I mean, it was really short, kind of forgettable too. I think I unlocked like almost all of the endings in my 30-minute run. What it does well, but I feel like what it does is not something I would write home about. Pacing, for what it is, sure, good. Artwork, absolutely busted. I know it was purposeful, but purposeful busted is still busted. Definitely self-aware. It knows what it's doing down to what its inspiration was. Comedy was fine. It got some laughs, but most of those laughs were like a heavy exhale from my nose, not like a full-on chortle, if you will. And we already saw the woke score. Why'd you have to give Nigeria a stray girl? So we move on from one with garbage artwork to one that's deceptively quality given its title. Scientifically Accurate Dinosaur Mating Simulator 2021. So this game begins with you playing as a dinosaur named RJ on his first day at a new school.
Another one, thank you.
You meet with your guide Ganymede and decide if you're a carnivore or herbivore. The two genders, thank you Republicans, that joke will never get old. And you explore the various clubs the school has to offer. Rap club, drama club, tabletop RPG club, and track club. And I'm gonna save y'all some time in this video. I found my man.
I think I'm kind of in love with Johnny Handsome so far. He's big and he's hot.
Yes, my big hulking man was hidden in the throes of the rap club. I've never been a big connoisseur of rap, but I have to say, for this man specifically, he could pimp this butterfly any day. So we go on various adventures around the school, running with the track club, queening out at the theater club, autisming out at the tabletop club. But at the end of the day, me and the rest of my dinosaur classmates all meet up for an astronomy party at the local large hill in town, where we look in the telescope to see an ooh-woo baby girl comet coming to kill us all. So the comet hits and all the characters we've met are trapped under various trees. And we, as the main character, get to choose one dinosaur to save from the wreckage, and it is a very difficult decision.
I mean, I'm saving Johnny, sorry. I need my boyfriend for the prom.
So we try to question what that was all about, and everyone says, it's fine, and we call it a day, which I would judge, but as an American, that's basically how we're handling everything right now, so like I can't really say much. Okay, so Scientifically Accurate Dinosaur Mating Simulator 2021. Quality. Cannot emphasize enough, genuinely a good dating sim. For the sake of the video length, I didn't go into high detail, but there's actually a lot going on here. There's stats, a ton of characters, romance levels, and I feel like I just hit the tip of the iceberg, so honestly, I'll probably be mating again sometime soon. Pacing, pretty good. A little wordy, but nothing like Paca Plus. Artwork, very well done. I love me a saturated color. Extremely, extremely self-aware. These divas knew what they were doing and put their full pussy in it. Comedy, great. Hee and also haha. And a max score on woke. There is literally a non-binary dinosaur, and I just know that would send your problematic uncle into a spiral. So now we move on to our next game, The Ratchelor. The Ratchelor is a browser game that apparently knew my audience to a T because my asexual rat community now is your moment! In this game, you basically play through an entire season of The Bachelor, but with rats. Lin-Manuel Miranda levels of wordplay, I know. So I, of course, decided to play as Little Miss Skintiana Dalmatian Diva Rat herself, and you can pick 7 rats among the dozens of options to compete for your rart. That's rat heart. See, Lynn, I can do it too. You're not special. So being nothing if not a sycophant to my brand, I did pick the ones that match my ideal types. The daddy, the large one, the swole one, the hairy one, the doctor, the rich one, and the schizophrenic. Throughout the game, you go on various dates on the exact same couch every time, having conversations where the protagonist just kind of one word responds to everything, which they love. Minimalist Queen. And after every date, you have to eliminate 1 to 2 Ratchelors via the Rat Rose Ceremony, or Rose Ceremony. Okay, Lynn, you have a point. This might be kind of hard. A standout Ratchelor to me was Daddy Rat, where we progressively find out more about his kids. Evangeline, Esquire, Jr., Sharpie, Trashcan, Reggie997, whose name inexplicably changes to Reggie977 later in the game, and an unnamed 6th one. Trashcan does appear to be the favorite, and unnamed 6th one appears to be blacklisted. As I'm recording this, I'm starting to realize that Daddy Ratchelor might be an homage to Elon Musk, which makes me severely depressed how the rest of this section is gonna go. Because after much deliberation, I decided that I am a family rat and picked Daddy Rat to begin a life with him and his 5 to 6 kids, depending on how he's feeling that day. So Grimes, if you're watching this, feel free to send me some advice. I feel like I'm probably gonna need it. This is gonna get messy. And after picking our Ratchelor, we are treated to an epilogue of all the other contestants, where we learned that half of them ended up hooking up.
These bitches gay. Good for them.
So the Ratchelor, camp, great time, extreme replayability. I don't know if the dialogue options matter at all because they seem to just range from like ew to yay, but the epilogues alone make me want to see more. I want to see how many of these rats are gaying out. So pacing, huge plus to this game. They nailed it. I was never bored a single minute. Artwork is probably going to be hit or miss for some people, but I feel like it was very intentional, so I'll hear them out on this one. Self-awareness out the ass, good for them. Comedy was great. I laughed, end of sentence. And woke was fine. It's inoffensive, but it's probably also not going to be discussed at like a feminist roundtable. So at this point in my journey, I started to hit a wall, and you'll see why. So Hard on Rollercoaster is a dating sim where you, and stay with me here, are a girl on her first day at a new school.
Another one, thank you.
And this is our first game where we actually get to name our character, so naturally...
All right, fat piece. You can do it.
As soon as we enter the school, we have a fateful run-in with our old childhood friend. And this is where I thought our love journey would begin, but as it turns out, we kind of just say, hey King, you used to be fat when we were kids. Anyway, I'm going to the music room. And just as our fat-shaming heroine made it to her first classroom, it clicked.
The music is coming from here. The music group. Why is there a double bass just sitting in front of the oh my god, is this an AI image?
AI backgrounds. Yay, AI backgrounds. We all love AI backgrounds. So here's the thing. AI art, ew. Congratulations, you are the lowest common denominator of creativity in a human. But you purposefully made a low-quality dating sim with hand-drawn characters. You purposefully made the premise a little quirky. You purposefully made a joke out of common dating sim tropes. This is literally the cover of your game. If you're going to make a self-aware, satirical dating sim, just use stock images as your background. Who cares? I mean, hell, if you want to, just take a photo of your bedroom and Photoshop some sheet music on the wall. That'd be so camp. There was no need to drain a local lake for this. So because of that, I had already mentally checked out about this one, but for the sake of investigative journalism, I guess, I skipped over some dialogue to see our 3 love interests. A fan-headed musician, a banana-headed school teacher who teaches at the school in which we are a student, call the cops, and an insectoid jock, all of which get AI backgrounds. And at this point, I really didn't care about any of them enough to torture myself with this, so boo, disqualified, moving on. So disgruntled about Hard on Rollercoaster, I decided to go to one that I thought would boost my spirits, Panzermodels, a dating sim in which you meet and date personified World War II tanks. But within 3 minutes of gameplay, I was saddened to discover...
Oh my god, it's AI again! Yeah, it's definitely old school AI.
That is some ancient AI.
2 AI backgrounds in a row. I'm about to do something that is going to ban me from commercial airlines. But just as my faith in this project and making this video was beginning to wane, I was exposed to a dating sim that in my opinion was probably the most memorable of this entire journey. When I tell you, I do not think I have had this much fun with a dating sim ever. My Dictator Stalin Can't Be This Cute starts with you playing as the original head of Soviet Russia, Vladimir Lenin. In it, you are spending quality one-on-one time with the following leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin. Only there's a sickening twist. This is what the 2 war criminals look like.
Okay, good start. No AI, just dictators. Just dictators. Thank God. Okay, we're good.
Soak it in, babes. This is Glee Season 5 levels of camp. Now, as Lenin, your goal in this game is to try and date Stalin, because in this Double D universe, you have a massive crush on them. But it is kind of tricky because Stalin is more rough around the edges and less romantically driven. Every sentence I say about this game, by the way, is going to be more ridiculous than the last, so just buckle up. So you both go to Stalin's house, which has a shelf of phallic objects, which, worry not, we tastefully covered with Luis's PNG.
You look great. You look great, King. You look great.
This is my moment. Have it.
There's also a bisexual flag next to a communist flag, and a bed comforter with Karl Marx's face on it. What? God forbid women have hobbies. While Stalin's out of the room, Lenin notices the coital objects and goes over to admire them, but gets caught, and we as Lenin pretend to be admiring the books instead, so Stalin offers us one to read. And that book just so happens to be The Communist Manifesto by famous bedsheet Karl Marx. You read the book and your mind begins to open and expand into a new view of the world. And on top of all of that, we are then serenaded with the USSR national anthem.
Soon you cannot stop turning the page. I'm gonna pee my pants!
I want to see you jumping.
Put your paws up. Threads begin to connect your Shutterstock. fuck?
So we ended up with bad ending number 2, in which we massacre millions of people in the name of communism. So we had some time left, and honestly, I just decided this deserves to have one more run, so we're doing it, girls. In this run, we played Truth or Dare with Stalin. We asked Stalin what color her panties are, and Stalin in return dares us to pledge our loyalty to her by mugging a down-on-his-luck rich man.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyways, run them pockets full. AI could never. AI could never.
So we successfully steal his briefcase, and I'm just gonna let Pass Me describe this one.
We've got Luis blocking dildos so I don't get my account deleted. We've got 2 girls, hourglass figured out, double D'd to the max, with Karl Marx in the background, a bisexual flag, and the communist hammer and sickle. All the while, just realizing that they just opened a suitcase of a rich man's family's ashes that he burned himself.
So later, Stalin asks us if we believe in Groundhog Day, and as if this game wasn't perfect enough, it pulls a Doki Doki Literature Club and becomes self-aware. And Stalin saves the world by taking out a harmful dictator. Stalin,
wait!
This is what video games were made for. I have not had this much fun playing a game in ages. This is what I look for in unhinged games. If you're gonna do it, go balls to the wall. Which is exactly what this did, and is exactly why I will be playing it again in the future. Pacing, stellar, not a bored bone in my body. Artwork, fine. It wasn't Van Gogh or anything, but I wasn't exactly expecting that from my Dictator Stalin can't be this cute. Self-awareness, max score. I need to take lessons in self-awareness from this. Comedy, max score. That is the closest I've ever come to peeing my pants on stream. And woke, I'm gonna give a good score. It's dark woke, but it is certainly woke. So with the sound of Stalin's gunshot, day 1 of searching for the worst came to a close. But with hilarious games come devastating consequences. Because when that game played the USSR national anthem, it apparently played a copyrighted version of it, which is apparently owned by Audio Salad and demonetized my VOD on YouTube. So much for our music, fake communist. So day 2, in a shocking turn of events, started off with me questioning if I'm a lot more puritanical than I previously thought, because we're starting with OnlyCans. OnlyCans was heavily requested by the people watching my stream on day 1, so naturally I was gonna do it. I love my stream watchers. Go be a stream watcher. And the game looked promising. It had great reviews, it had a funny premise, the graphics were actually really good. But then of course I started the game, and I have never in my life been more embarrassed to be publicly perceived by hundreds of people. Before I explain why, I do need to give OnlyCans some credit, because it has an absurdly deep lore. As you go through the cans, you learn about the She's family that owns the multi-million-dollar soda brand of their namesake. The cans themselves also have a backstory as to why they were made, and they come with cute little accessories. But to unlock these, you have to progress down the list 1 can at a time. And in order to unlock the next can, you have to do this with the can before it. The gameplay is very simple. The only controls are pressing the left and right arrow keys when they align with the indicated bubbles. But once you get it right... But that's not all, folks. When you get enough successful button presses... Oh god, just play the clip.
I really hate this game.
And that is the entire gameplay loop of OnlyCans. Repeat until your afterlife in hell is secured. So it's a simple premise, and admittedly a very hilarious one, but at the same time, I kind of felt like a teenager giving a PowerPoint presentation on his browser history to his Sunday school class. Pacing was okay. It's a very repetitive gameplay cycle, but at the same time, you do learn a lot during it, so there's that. Artwork's really good. I thought the graphics were very impressive. Self-awareness, to their credit, those sodomites know what they're doing. Comedy's okay. The premise is kooky, but at the same time, like, the only joke is climaxing, so after a while, it gets a little bit old. And woke, I'm gonna give a good score just because I don't think I could ever see an evangelical person playing this. Also, to their credit, the cans are pretty diverse. I think there was even like a twink can at one point.
Oh my. Oh my.
So if day 1 of this search was Wicked the musical, day 2 was definitely Wicked the book, because it just gets progressively more absurd. Love is String is a dating sim where you play a cup of your choosing looking for a string in order to phone, which I guess is how they, how do I put it lightly? Fornicate like the sinners they are. You as the player have the choice to be one of 3 different cups. Red Solo Cup, the party girl, Chick-fil-A Empty Milkshake Cup, the Christian prude, or Tin Can Cup, the immortal icon that has 0 filter and pisses off everyone she talks to. And guess which one I chose? was?
Tin Cussy. There we go.
So Tin Cussy goes to a speed dating event at a local bar to find a potential match to phone with. We immediately run into the thickest man in the bar, our old college friend Twine. Twine has broken up with his ex, whose full government name is...
#1 boss Stanley Cup from that one Goodwill store in between the rundown Kroger and Toys R Us.
After finding out that Twine is officially on the market, we meet our other 3 potential suitors. Elastic String, an awkward man found drinking a Capri Sun at a bar.
So cool. Can I ask your name?
No! Ribon à la française donde está la biblioteca, a movie director currently working on his next project, Marie Antoinette.
So I suppose I see you on the set of the movie? I kind of never want to see a guy.
And a spool of wire who seems to be heavily invested in the Disney Channel original series, Jessie.
Oh, Jay, you watch Desert on Jesse? What's it to you?
So after multiple dates and a tasteful flashback of Twine-chan during our school days, I asked my chat to vote for who we would phone with, and an overwhelming majority chose Twine. Although, to be fair, we were kind of influencing the vote before that.
I love how you have zero chemistry with anybody except Twine.
Listen, Twine apparently, I'm guessing Twine has a fat ass.
So we have our happily ever after with Twine, and Twine goes on to win $100,000 in the lottery, so we're set for life, apparently. There's even a romantic shot of us at the end, and it's so camp.
It's just a cylinder. The cup didn't matter.
So while a bunch of soda cans made me prudish, Tin Cussy opened my heart to new discoveries. Honestly, I expected this game to be so stupid, but I fear we have another banger on our hands. It's funny, it's well-paced, I want to play it again because I want to see what the Christian Prude Chick-fil-A cup is like. So pacing, another fantastic score. I was not bored for a second. Artwork was fine, it's just a bunch of images, but frankly, after the AI stuff, my standards are pretty low. Self-awareness is between this one and Stalin for the best. Like, it just knows what it's doing. Comedy, gold. Gold. And a great woke score too. Tin Cussy was fully in control and knew exactly what she was doing. Feminism. So our next game comes with a bit of a backstory. But to start, Grand Old Academy is a dating sim where you have the exciting opportunity to date some of the biggest names in the Republican Party, such as Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and everyone's favorite president that doesn't know the difference between Greenland and Iceland, Donald Trump. It started as a Kickstarter in 2016 and even passed its goal by $2,000, but they never released the full game. And the last update about it is a Tumblr post from their team in 2020. My best guess is that while researching these grifters for this game, they accidentally got inspired. But they do still have a free demo available online, and being the curious little kitten I am, I had to go check it out. In this game, you play as a Japanese transfer student named Mori America. Author's note, hilarious, who is just about to start her first day at Grand Old Academy.
Another one, thank you.
As you enter the campus, you are given a school tour with your new roommate, Megan Kelly. Full transparency, because of the description of this game, I had high hopes for it, but like Trump's approval ratings, I was let down. The dialogue just kind of goes on way too long, and it tries so hard to be serious, but also satirical. It kind of started to feel like another Paca Plus situation where like, tee-hee, Republicans are saying this was the only joke. Now, there were some good lines and frankly exceptional artwork, but honestly, the ADHD side of my brain at this point was about to go balls deep on a firearm. And when Paca Plus did that, it felt kind of like a bummer. But when this game does that, it feels borderline dangerous. Now, before I say this, I am aware comedy is subjective. The stray haters in my comment sections make that abundantly clear. But in a game like this, if you're not making the mockery at least somewhat obvious, it kind of starts to feel like you're humanizing some genuinely terrible people. Now, I know that was not their intent, and I'm probably sounding like the friend that's too woke, but at the end of this run through, I wasn't thinking Megyn Kelly is evil. I was thinking Megyn Kelly is boring. And Jeb Bush is probably a bottom, but that's another story. Now, to their credit, they were making this in 2016 when Trump had just gone into office for the first time, and we all just thought he was going to be a terrible president, not an arbiter of the American secret police. But again, after almost an hour of playing this, I got nothing. I got nothing. Nothing is memorable about it. They're trying too hard to be serious. The pacing is so slow. It's so slow. And maybe I'm just dumb, but there wasn't really like a strong message either way about how they feel about these people. So pacing, abysmal. I would rather watch Paint Drying Simulator. Artwork, the one redeeming quality about this game. It looks fantastic. Self-awareness, abysmal. It was a strong swing, but a strong miss. Comedy, also low. I think the only thing I really laughed at was the name, and then I was just disappointed from there on out. And woke was middle of the line. I respect where their heart was at, but it just didn't land. Welcome to the shortest dating sim of the series, Caging Me Softly. I'll keep it nice and simple. You start out at a cafe that's playing some alluring music, and you immediately find out why this game got its name.
What is Nicolas Cage doing here?
During your run, you are given exactly one option in the entire game, and that is how you compliment Nicolas Cage's face. And each one of these options leads to their own secret ending. Good, romantic, sexy, and bad ending.
That's a beautiful game. One sentence could change your life. One sentence could send you to prison.
Choose wisely, because in order to see the other options, you will have to play the game again for another 15 seconds. So Caging Me Softly, extremely short, extremely absurd, very good branding, good for you, kid. Would I play it again? No. I got all the endings in like 5 minutes. Pacing, remarkable, gonna give you a good score. Artwork, garbage, but admittedly, I kinda lived. Self-awareness, to the max. They had a goal and they succeeded. Comedy, fine. Again, it's just like Nicolas Cage is the only joke, but also you can only make so many jokes in 5 minutes, so I'm not gonna be too harsh about that. Woke, to the max. This is male vulnerability at its finest. Okay, hear me out, this one's amazing. So in Cat President, a more perfect union, we play as an unemployed nobody who has
Never even voted before.
So like many a game, this one does start with you naming your character, and because it's a cat-related game, I figured it would be best if I consulted the ancient texts.
Chew. Kiss a kitty.
In this game, we are living in a world where humans have evolved past electing humans for political positions, and now cats are in charge. Base. As we begin our day, we are met with our best friend Lizzie, an absolute diva, and based on her outfit, appears to be an ambassador for Claire's. Lizzie invites us to go to the presidential debate, where the top 6 cat candidates will be vouching for the vote of the general public. So we as Chew agree, and we go to the debate, and once we get there, we get lost while looking for a bathroom, during which we accidentally stumble into the room where all the presidential candidates are meeting. And here is where the game comes alive, because it's time to meet the cat candidates. Thunderpaw, the aggressive orange cat with a blonde wig, so that's 2 times in one day that Donald Trump has appeared on my dating stream. Not a lot, but weird it happened twice. Frisky, the overly flirty sex pest candidate. DJ Nibbles, the young hip candidate. Kale, the insecure candidate that is currently last in the polls. Dr. Nom Noms, the unenthusiastic candidate. And Rover, the definitely a cat candidate.
I have one question to ask. Do you have a dog?
So the debate begins, and we as Chew surprisingly get selected to ask a question to the candidates. And we decide to ask a hard-hitting question about the economy and what they can do for the common man, while also lightly trauma dumping on the candidates in a very public setting.
I lost my job at the grocery store last week and I'm still having trouble finding a new one. If I don't get a job soon, I might lose my apartment.
Like, Chew, this is not Tumblr, get off the floor. But our question impresses all 6 of the candidates, and all of them, starting with Dr. Nom Noms, want to hire Chew to be their campaign manager and offer the job mid-debate, which admittedly is kind of giving I just got adopted by One Direction fan fiction, but frankly, I think that sells the game even more. So after letting the chat vote, we ended up deciding on Dr. Nom Noms and we started working for his campaign. During our run, we learned that Dr. Nom Noms doesn't actually want to win, and he was kind of just joshing with his friends, and it was a joke that just went way too far. So to resolve this dilemma, Dr. Nom Noms decides that the best approach is to sabotage his campaign in a way that will not ruin his public reputation. And one of his solutions is to pay both Chew and her friend Lizzie
$25,000 a month.
So after bleeding the campaign budget dry, we decide the next step is to go to a school and have Dr. Nom Noms give a speech, because it would be useless because, quote,
Children can't vote, so meeting with them is essentially a waste of time for the campaign.
God, this game's starting to hit a little bit close to home, and I'm proud to be an American. I'm not, that's the joke, I'm absolutely not. But during this trip to the school, we learn about Dr. Nom Nom's backstory, how he came from nothing and made it all the way here on his own 4 feet. So Chew is left at an impasse. Will she help Dr. Nom Nom sabotage his campaign, or will she help him become the president that he so deserves to be? And the answer to that will not be in this video, because I had to move on to the next game. But rest assured, if there's any interest, I will go back and I will stream this game. I also kind of want to find out what happens. Cat President, perfection. Absolute perfection. Great story, great dialogue, great humor. Lizzie is fantastic representation for all of my Claire's baddies, and I do not see myself living in a world where I don't find out what happens to Dr. Nom Nom, so stay tuned. Pacing, absolutely fantastic. Could not ask for anything better. I was on the edge of my seat. Artwork was meh, but I feel like for what it was going for, it did it well. Self-awareness, could not ask for it to be any better, plus cats, so bonus points. Comedy, great. Watching Lizzie faint from the $25,000 bit alone was worth everything.
She died.
And absolutely woke, Rover is a trans species character. So this one I knew literally nothing about, and I still don't, and you'll soon see why. From what I could tell about the cover, Patty Dating Sim seems to be a game made by a single guy and a few of his friends in an attempt to be as edgelord as possible. Like, I'm pretty sure the goal when writing this script was every line should be trying to outdo the last one in terms of absurdity. And unfortunately, I do sometimes have the brain of a single-celled organism, because it kind of worked for me. But once I got a few minutes in, I started realizing that every character in this game is just photos of him and his friends. But hopefully that's where it ends and he's not using photos of his real life living spaces, because if it is, oh my God. Oh!
Are we playing as Nick from Jingle Smells?
Like, this room absolutely has viruses in it that we just assumed were eradicated already. So I played for a few more minutes until the language got a little spicier because I wasn't 100% confident of the ages of the people used in these photos, and I frankly just didn't want to speedrun the death of my online career.
Want to see my feet? Well, we did it.
So Patty Dating Sim, you had a lot of potential, but unfortunately disqualified. Sorry. Now, obviously that was a little disappointing having to cut a game short, and I wanted to end day 2 strong, so luckily I found something out. So you know how on day 1 we disqualified Panzermodels because we thought it was using AI in the backgrounds? Well, in that moment I was being overly cautious, but I wasn't 100% convinced that it was AI because everything was kind of in the right place. It just had a weird art style. Now, if only me and Luis had done a little bit of research after that stream, well, guess what, Mimi?
Well, guess what, Mimi? We did.
I say research, we looked up like one thing, but y'all, Panzermodels was made in 2016, long before generative AI was a thing. So as it turns out, those backgrounds are not AI, they're just terrible artistic decisions to look like a Max photo booth filter. And I could be wrong in saying this, but I don't care, I'll say it to her face. I would not be shocked if these backgrounds were the inspiration for early AI models. Like, look at this tree. You cannot convince me that AI data centers did not see this in 2022 and were like, you're coming home with me. But now that the game is redeemed and had its disqualification lifted, we can give it the good old college try. Redemption Queen. So in Panzermodels, you play as a student named Erwin on his first day at a new school.
Another one, thank you.
And on the way, you meet your very first friend, M4 Sherman, a medium tank most widely used by the United States and Western allies in World War II. M4 Sherman shows you around the school where you meet various other classmates, including T-34, a medium Soviet tank, and Panzer IV, a medium German tank. Also, I'm gonna be using Wikipedia a lot in this section, just so you know. I feel like this probably speaks for itself, but if you didn't get the hint, I'm not very war savvy. So at this point, Erwin makes the stunning realization that he is not going to a school to learn about tanks, but is instead going to a school for tanks. So of course, our hero begins to feel ostracized because he is the only non-tank student, and also from what I can tell, the only boy student, but they don't really talk about that, so I guess I won't either. Now, I know this is an artistic choice, but I do feel like the ostracization would have a little bit more weight if we ever saw the girls as tanks. Like, the most we ever get is the girls talking about their tank parts, which they never show, but at the same time, I feel like this genre of game is meant for people much more creative than me. But anyway, inevitably we run into the love interest that I chose for this run, the IS-2 Soviet Heavy Tank. Now, as all my history buffs know, the IS-2 is anything but a shy girly, so she immediately invites us to go to a bar for drinks. So I guess either they're in college or the legal drinking age is lower in a world where girls are also tanks. Love wins. So we each have a double white Russian, and IS-2 gets up to throw some tank ass in the middle of the bar. And would you believe it, for the second time in a row at the end of the stream, we are greeted with... Not again.
No, stop it. No.
I will not get another demonetization for the fucking national anthem of the USSR. Audio Salad's gonna get my ass.
So after the dancing, IS-2 asks if we want her number, and we accept, and she hands us a real working number. Now, I was informed by my chat that this number is just a reference to a number used in Hotline Miami, but when I called it, it just went directly to a Google Voice, so I chickened out.
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
So we go to bed as we anticipate the next day of school with our new Soviet tank girlfriend. So this game overall pretty good. I'm so glad we got to actually cover it because I was a little bit bored of it at first, but then when we got to the Soviet tank IS-2, that diva carried this game. She's hilarious, she doesn't beat around the bush, she almost got me demonetized for a second time during this journey, but I can look past that. And it's not like I can blame just her. If I had kept playing Patty Dating Simulator, Luis found out that I would have been subjected to this.
You cannot make this up. If we had kept playing Patty Dating Simulator, then we would have been subjected to this again.
The dating sims long for communism, what can I say? So pacing, I'm gonna give a decent score. It started a little slow, but it really found its footing. Artwork, I'm gonna score pretty low. I mean, if I thought it was AI, I certainly am not gonna think it's like a Michelangelo or something. Self-awareness pretty good. I would have preferred a more show don't tell style about the tank girls, but you know what, to each their own. Comedy, great bits. Again, started a little slow, but got really funny towards the end. And woke, okay. I mean, the school kind of felt like a harem, but I think we're respectful, so love wins. So now we're on to day 3, and this next one I was so excited for by the image alone. My Horse Prince is a discontinued dating sim app that follows the hallmark tradition of a girl leaving the big city to pursue her humble farm dreams. And we of course got to name our hallmark girlie, so we stuck with the horse theme.
Keta. Mean. There we go.
Upon arriving to the farm, we are met with what can only be described as lobotomized Mario, who acts as our guide. And because this game knows what the fuck it's about, you are almost immediately introduced to Yuma, the human-headed horse.
I don't like how he walks.
Now, it is a fairly simple game structure. You increase Yuma's love level by feeding him carrots, but doing so decreases his energy. But you can get that energy back by talking to him.
Make sure to talk to Yuma by clicking on the talk button at the bottom of the... Okay, have fun.
And answering titillating questions such as,
what do you think of carrots?
So once you achieve a new love level, you unlock a new cutscene with Yuma. And I'm gonna be honest with you, each scene is basically a Russian roulette as to what specific type of discomfort you will feel about it.
I don't like the implications of the speed that he does this. I don't like what this implies. No! It's been like 10 minutes. It's been like 10 minutes and we've paused a lot to talk about it. How is it going into this so strongly?
So Ketamine comes back to the farm the next day after an internal struggle to decide if she wants to continue simping for the horseman, which is shown via a borderline Greek chorus presentation by lobotomized Mario. I don't know why they decided to use a nudity censorship for that part, but far be it for me to judge art. But with a new day comes new game features. They substituted the carrots for treadmills. But let me tell you, upgrade because those animations did something for me.
Okay, you know, I was yucking the yum, but I gotta say, that itched my brain. That itched my brain in a really good way.
But like every mobile exclusive game, the second I started getting into it... So because we were locked out by a timer, we decided to put the starry-eyed Ketamine up on the shelf and move on to the next game in our journey. Okay, so My Horse Prince. I will say, a little freaky, but it kind of matched my freak. Like, it's absurd, but it's absurd in a way where you kind of want to lean into the bit. My theater kid heart was thriving in this. Pacing I'm going to give kind of low because I just don't think there's anything to pace. There's not really a lot of story. Artwork is definitely going to be somebody's yuck and another person's yum, so I'm just going to go Switzerland on this one. The self-awareness was perfection. I feel like one person just drew that man-head horse and they just all decided to commit to the bit from there on. The comedy was more visual than wordplay, but I gotta be honest, this alone just carried it. And I would definitely call this woke because I feel like people would use this footage as an example of what would happen if Obama took a third term. So Dialtown was a game that was heavily requested by my viewers, and after playing it for a little bit, I started to really sympathize with Oppenheimer. For the first time ever, I questioned what I had created. Like, what audience did I curate where the #1 requested game from them was this? Y'all are some sick freaks. And I'm officially one of you. I had a great time. So in Dialtown, you choose to play one of 2 characters, and I chose the typewriter head. Although now that I'm looking back at the footage, I realized I named the character Phoenicia after the Date Everything character, and then chose the typewriter head over the phone head. Silencing women's voices. I don't deserve a platform. So Phoenicia is brought back to life by this world's deity, the God Dog, and we are on a singular mission to lay our eggs in a private dark pit area. And our character comes to the conclusion that the best place to lay his eggs is at the local fair. But the ticket guy tells us we need money, so we end up having to go find a date to pay for our way in. Now, you know me, or this is your first time watching my channel, in which case, you'll catch up soon, it's fine. So naturally, I tried to flirt with the ticket guy, but he unfortunately takes his job very seriously in spite of the rippling abs that are right in front of him. Amateur. So we go to the city to find a date, and our first potential bachelor is the God Dog, but this time dressed as a local hobo. And even though God Hobo is out here looking like a hot piece of ass, he doesn't play the coy flirting game very well, so Phoenicia unfortunately has no option but to make the responsible choice. So we punch God and run away. For our next potential bachelor, we decide to call a phone sex line, which is where we meet Randy, an overworked, anxious, Nokia-headed man that genuinely hates himself.
Well, as I always say, at worst, this will probably just kill me, which is best for everyone, including myself.
We ask Randy to the fair, and he agrees because I truly don't believe that Randy has ever been shown kindness in his life. That's not even a joke. I really feel bad for Randy. So we meet Randy at the fair, who pays for our way in, and we start the date all hot and steamy by going to a corner immediately and trying to lay our eggs. But the eggs are not quite ready to be laid, so we go on a few rides to loosen up our egg sack. I would like to re-emphasize that this was the most requested game from my followers. So by the end of the date, the sack is nice and loose and we can begin to lay our eggs. And after an unsettlingly descriptive egg birth, we are left temporarily unable to walk, so Randy leaves us on our own and we crawl home. And all of that was just the first day of the demo of Dialtown. So as you can tell, Dialtown, unnerving but quality. I didn't expect to go into a dating sim that had, honestly, Avatar levels of world building. I felt like each character had their own flavor, the writing was good. I feel like it would be really hard to talk about it with my parents, but at the same time, I feel like it's okay to keep secrets from your loved ones from time to time. Protect them, really. So pacing, good score, artwork, very creative, pristine levels of self-awareness, genuinely good comedic lines, and woke to the max. Impreg is basically the epitome of woke. So Seduce the Grinch is a dating sim that appears to be inspired by the Choose Your Own Adventure YouTube series by Jax Films. Now this is another one that's pretty short, sweet, to the point. You play as Grinch69 who goes to the Grinch's lair with 2 inherent goals: save Christmas and blow the Grinch's back out. But you do have to be careful with this one because you only are given 3 hearts in the game, and when you make a mistake in the dialogue...
I love it, can I help? Oh, he shot me!
What the hell?
He shot me!
And if you reach 0 hearts, then you lose the game, which is astonishingly easy in this game, by the way. I'm pretty sure there were literally dialogue options where both choices got me shot.
He hated that
So
one?
we're doing the other one.
No!
So the Grinch starts complaining about the Who's down in Whoville and decides he's going to visit the Whoville Whobilation to get a lay of the land he's going to sabotage. While the Grinch is gone, Max the dog approaches us,
Not LGBT, I'm not bit fruity. He said, I know what you are.
and reveals to us that he is the 5th Max after the Grinch killed the previous 4 for treason. So to help us, he very graciously coughs up a secret key that we take. The Grinch then returns from the Whobilation and gives us a tour of the bedroom, during which he shows us his childhood journal that's been locked for years as he can't find the key. And like a storybook ending, we take the journal, whip out the secret key, and unlock the journal, and the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes that day after reading his old childhood musings.
If a stranger ever shows me kindness, I promise to sit on their face.
So as promised in his journal, the Grinch slams that fat grissy on our face and we save Christmas. So Seducing the Grinch. I'm gonna be honest, this is like 2 degrees away from me hooking up with Human Shrek, so huge bonus points. It's simple, it's festive, I had a great time, and frankly, this was the closest I got to being attracted to a character in any of these games. Pacing, great, it got to the point. Artwork was just screenshots of the movie, but I guess the movie was done well, so I guess they get a bonus for that. Anything even remotely adjacent to Jack's films is gonna be self-aware, so there you go. Comedy, I had a very good time, congratulations to everybody involved. But for woke, I did have to take away a few points. It was very Kristi Noem of the Grinch to snuff out his dogs. So sticking with the holiday theme, we moved on to our next game, Too Many Santas. In this game, you play as a down-on-her-luck toy store owner at Christmas time. You are then asked to name your character, and I will give this game its comedy flowers because you cannot tell me that this was not set up for me to do exactly what I did.
Sandy Cleese? That's not my name. My name is...
Oh no, you call her Sandy Cleese Cleese.
Sandy Cleese, Cleese, Cleese.
So Sandy Cleese is given a Deus Ex Machina as 6 magical Santas appear to help save the store. Each Santa has their own character traits, and I would like to present them to you via a self-aggrandizing edit of the various voices that I used for them in a way to get potential voice acting roles in the future, possibly. I am open for hire. There's Saintly Santa.
So I need to remind everyone that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Sleepy Santa.
Sorry about that, I was up late last night.
Sad Santa.
Christmas gives me the blues, also New Year's, and pretty much every other day of the year.
Sexy Santa.
And I won't forget your second wish to have an awesome lover, wink wink flex.
Sassy Santa.
Don't believe me? You're an idiot. Ho, ho, ho. See how funny that was?
And the Santa that we chose for this run, Secret Santa, which I felt would be appropriate to have the Smosh chosen voice.
You'll be happy to know I took your measurements last night while you were asleep, so I could make you an elf costume that fits perfectly.
So Secret Santa is apparently on a super secret mission, but he won't tell us, which is really hard to build a relationship on. So we try to pry the answer out of him, but Secret Santa does not take kindly to that.
You guessed wrong. That means I'll be on my merry little way, haha.
So he storms off to go on his mission, but comes back a few hours later. He's not really one to stand on his laurels. So as we go about our day, we have various interactions with Secret Santa as he tries to convince us that he truly is trying to help the store.
How does it go? Anyone could dislike you.
Oh, gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because he sucks?
We then ask him to be a part of the store's display of Santas, but he refuses out of fear that his secrets will be revealed. So we then try to help Secret Santa get over this fear by throwing him into the show anyway. So naturally, it understandably backfires.
Here he is, Secret Santa. Secret Santa!
So we've reached Secret Santa's all is lost moment as he tells us that the last time he revealed his secrets, people didn't care about the magic of Santa anymore. So now he doesn't want to reveal any more secrets to us because he feels like we won't care about him. So he angrily storms out, but in a Christmas miracle returns to us a few hours later to reveal to us the secret he's been holding this whole time.
I've been buying Christmas presents for everyone.
Which of course causes the main character to crash out and Luis, the person voicing that character, to clip his mic. But eventually, we do forgive him because it's the holidays, and he gives us our present, an engagement ring!
Yes! Oh, yes!
So we agree to marry the Secret Santa that we've known for a total of 6 hours, and Christmas is saved again! So too many Santas. Maybe I'm being too easy on them, but honestly, to me, this is my Love Actually now. There's so many fun characters, stupid dialogue said very lovingly, and we get engaged in the end. I'm never gonna say no to commitment, baby. So the pacing was fine. Sometimes the plot points felt repetitive, but they did joke about that, so I'll give them a little grace. Artwork, it's just photos, but I feel like it was done okay. Another self-aware king, we have been eating good today. Comedy, fantastic, I laughed a ton. And a great woke score, those are some diverse-ass Santas. So we finally made it to the last game in this journey, and it's basically a prolonged ad for the fast food chain restaurant KFC. At this point, I think everybody involved was getting a little manic, so we did name our character
Beer Boots Bow. Perfect.
who is just about to begin her first day at a new school.
Another one, thank you.
And the name of that school is the University of Cooking School Academy for Learning, where they are known for their famous 3-day semesters. I gotta give KFC's marketing team their credit, they do know the genre. Our friend Miriam walks us to class where we are taught by an adorable corgi in a chef's hat when in walks the main man himself. So we had the option to sit with either our best friend that we've known for our entire life or a man that we just met that we think is hot. And I am happy to say that I have truly matured over the years, so I think I made the right decision.
All right, your friend, friendship.
Yeah, you're right.
So we learned that the Colonel is an exceptional chef and is also extremely full of himself, but honestly, that wasn't gonna stop me. I do not respect myself that way. So we get to spend a lot more time with him, going to lunch with him, winning a cooking competition with him by making mashed potatoes and gravy. That's not a euphemism, by the way. They just want us to buy their food. And it's working. And at the end of the day, we even run into him on our way back home. During our romantic night walk, we are attacked by a spork monster for literally no reason. There was like no segue to it. And the game turns into a Final Fantasy style turn-based combat. Again, I will give them credit here. We are approaching nuclear levels of whimsy. And we end up defeating the spork monster via our special move,
Student Deadline Destruction.
So thus concludes our first day at University of Cooking School Academy for Learning, and we go to bed. Also, there is one detail I skipped over because it wasn't very important to the plot, but I do want y'all to know that somebody at KFC Corporate is watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You rang.
So I love you, Colonel Sanders. Admittedly, it's an ad, but a well-researched ad. Like, to their credit, off the top of my head, I can't think of another corporation that would be able to successfully parody this genre this well. So call me a shill, but like, the game's free, and if it makes you want to buy some food, at least it's like pretty good food. Pacing could be a little better. There were definitely some parts where it kind of dragged on, so I would like skip a little. Artwork was pretty damn good. I hate to use a pun here, but KFC, you ate that. I never thought I would give this to a brand, but they have a fantastic self-awareness score. This was so well researched. Comedy was fine. I do feel like the funniest part was the underlying bit that this was all being done by a fast food restaurant, and woke was pretty neutral. I feel like they had to twist a lot of stakeholders' arms to make this happen, so I guarantee they weren't trying to make any more waves past that. So thus concludes arguably one of the most exhausting voyages I have ever done in a public manner. So all that leaves us is the results, and what better way to present those than via a super tacky award show. Hello and welcome to the first ever Blake Jennings Game Awards, also known as the Bl-Jame Awards. Game Awards, please don't sue me for this. Here at the Bl-Jame Awards, but okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase. This video's been going on long enough. Anyway, time for the winners. Our first category is Most Fun. Which one, regardless of quality, gave me serotonin in the face of whatever the hell 2026 is so far, Jesus Christ. And our winner is the Ratchelor.
The little rat has abs.
I know, it's kind of hot. So let's keep him.
Genuinely, I could and will replay that game so many times. The dialogue's good, the character design is iconic, the choices you make almost seem to not matter at all, which honestly for me is kind of relieving nowadays. Congratulations to the Ratchelor, and moving on to our next category, Camp Queen. Self-explanatory, which game was so satirical that it almost made me diva down into a coma? And the winner is My Dictator Stalin Can't Be This Cute.
Luis, the censorship sucks.
This is not censorship. This is perversion.
Enjoy your meal, Luis.
This game is a masterclass in blatant, in-your-face satire. This game was clearly made by people who have played this genre within an inch of their life. I will say a lot of games in this video did do a good job at derailing the typical tropes of a dating sim, but none of them except for the Stalin game had the balls to use a stock image with the stock logo still there. That alone won them this award, but honestly, they could have won it for so many other reasons. Congratulations to My Dictator Stalin Can't Be This Cute, and now moving on to our next category, Best Writing. And I'm gonna be quick about this one because there's a good chance that I'm not a good enough writer to be handing out this award, so I probably will get dragged in the comments, but I digress. And Best Writing goes to Cat President, A Perfect Union.
Look, kids, I didn't come here today to lecture you. I came here to inspire you because I've been where you are.
It was probably a given that this was gonna get this because, as I told you before, I'm going to go back to this game because I wanna know how the story ends. It is the perfect blend of comedy with actually good paced writing. And on top of all of that, you actually learn a little bit about politics along the way too, so educational. Also cats, so like, I mean, of course I'm gonna like it a little bit more. Congratulations to Cat President, and moving on to Most Romantic. Which one of these games had the most alluring characters to the point of parasocial relationship that we can't tell our friends about because we will be exiled? And in my opinion, Most Romantic goes to Too Many Santas.
Santa, there's nothing you can say that will make me stop caring about you.
What if I said I've been going to the video game store on the other side of the mall?
Oh, that's disgusting.
I don't really have a great reasoning for it besides the fact that it's been a week since I streamed this game and I still think about Secret Santa. I want to know more of his secrets. I want to plan my wedding with him. I want to see that body under that coat. So congratulations, Too Many Santas. Secret Santa, I'll see you at dinner. And let's move on to our next category, the Mental Illness Award. Which of these games was made by somebody who needs to be heavily medicated? And that could not go to anybody else but John Cena's Sexy High School Adventure.
Okay. Why are the options English, and Hebrew.
Self-explanatory. Devs, you did a great job, but I do think you need to go check on your dosage of what you're taking right now. I don't think it's enough. Congratulations to John Cena. You will always be sexy. Now moving on to most stupid, parentheses complimentary. Which game was so enjoyable to go through that I did not give a shit that it was pathetically made? And most stupid was a knockout going to Love is String.
Then, by chance, we both ended up going to the same college. Player's nearest safety school.
I mean, you play a cup trying to f a string. Do I really need to say more? You watched the video, or at least I hope you did. So congratulations to Love is String. Now moving on to our penultimate category, best overall quality. While looking for the worst, we did have to find some of the best, so let's list them out here. In our number 3 spot, we have Scientifically Accurate Dinosaur Mating Simulator 2021. I'm almost embarrassed that I included this in the video because it's genuinely just a good game. Like, go check it out. You're gonna have a good time. Number 2, back on our list is Cat President. Again, fantastic story. I want to find out what's going on with that freaky ass dog. And the number 1 best quality game goes to Dialtown. Congratulations to Dialtown.
Ticket Jerry, are you by any chance free on Valentine? Ooh, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm shooting my shot.
I will call the police.
Oh, okay.
I guess in a way, technically it flopped because we're looking for the worst here, but you know what? If you're gonna flop at something, I guess this is the best thing to flop at. World building, comedy, good dialogue, it's got it all. I do now understand the cult following. I'm not sure I wanna meet any of them ever in person, but we can keep this parasocial online. We'll have a good time. And now for the award we've all been waiting for. The worst. A heavy part of this decision was from the scoring, but at the end of the day, like RuPaul, it's my choice to make. So the number 3 worst game goes to My Nigerian Prince. I think what it does well. It's just that other people do it better, and this game was clearly made in like 2 days. Also, purely just out of respect for the Nigerian people, I feel that it's best if I do say publicly, game bad. Our second place for worst game goes to, and you guys are gonna hate me for this, Paca Plus. Listen, the artwork is good. Beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns. Like, that's all you got going for you, girl. I'm sorry, if I'm gonna play a ridiculous concept, I wanna be enthralled. I wasn't enthralled, not even an ounce of enthrallment. I'm probably not a good judge for this, I'll admit that. But at the end of the day, I wasn't having a good time, Diva. I gave this more time than any game, and it never delivered. Also, frankly, this is what you f***ing get for doing that stupid intro song after I went through the entire ass plot that I didn't have to do. Anyway, I'm starting to sound a little bit bitter, so moving on. On to our number 1 spot, the worst dating sim. Which one is the game that I could never, ever, forever, ever, never recommend to anybody in my life? And without question, that number 1 spot, the worst dating sim, goes to Grand Old Academy.
I can see why this game didn't get funded past the demo.
Oh my god, it just drags. Like, I appreciate the level of detail, but I also don't. Yeah, it was
Not
thrilling.
with this concept, you know?
No.
This game has it all. Starting with the botched Kickstarter, they are sitting on thousands of dollars that they either embezzled or spent absolutely poorly because the game never came out. Then, of course, we have the characters in the game that they didn't mock enough. Like, if I remember right, Donald Trump is like the bad boy jock that nobody understands why he's in charge, but they just go with it anyway. And the problem is, because it's a demo, we'll never see his downfall. But arguably, worse than any sin I have listed about this game, the worst part about it is that it's fucking boring. I laughed in the first 5 minutes of this game and never again. Every minute following that was a snowball effect in my brain saying, get out, stop playing this game, it's not fun, Blake. So congratulations to Grand Old Academy. Please take your award and run away, Simba. Run away and never return. Thank you so much for joining me today at the Bl-Jame Awards. My name is Blake. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. If you do not, I will start a Kickstarter and I will embezzle so much money, don't think I won't. Please make sure to check out my streaming channels. I try to stream at least once a week, and you can also check all the VODs from these games that I played today. I actually left a game out so you can go see a little secret extra. And thank you again so much to Luis for co-hosting my streams and for finding these games. I do not envy your search history. And I also have a podcast. If you feel you haven't heard enough of me yapping yet, I do have a new episode out every Monday with my co-host Heather. From all of us at the Bl-Jame Awards, thank you and good night. And to John Cena, if you are watching this, you can have me. You can have me at any time. If you're watching this 5 years from now, if I'm with another partner, if I'm married, I will divorce them. You can have me. Please, John Cena, please, just one chance, one chance.